Kyle Busch just had the kind of Sunday afternoon that makes you wonder if things can actually get any worse for a two-time Cup Series champion. Because at Bristol, the track where he has won more races than any other active driver, Kyle got dumped, got buried, got wrecked, and then had to sit there and listen to his own team fall apart on the radio, while the kid who replaced him at Gibbs Racing drove off into the sunset with his very first career win. So let's talk about what happened at the Food City 500 on April 12th, 2026. This was race, a 500-lap fight on the little half-mile short track in Tennessee. And Bristol has a nickname for a reason. They call it the place where short tracks make short tempers. That turned out to be perfectly true on this day. Now, Kyle Busch used to own this place. Way back in 2007, he became the youngest Cup race winner ever at Bristol at just 21 years old. He has 8 wins here, more than any other active driver in the sport. But this season, Kyle has not looked anything like that guy. He started the year with so much hope. He won the pole for the Daytona 500 inches, his number 8 Chevy. Then things just fell apart piece by piece. He finished 15th at Daytona. A week later at Echo Park Speedway, he got tight coming off turn 2. Noah Gragson hit the back of his car, and Kyle slammed headfirst into the inside wall on lap 125. He walked away just fine, but his season sure did not. Coming into Bristol, Kyle was sitting 24th in the points. He still had not scored a single top 1-0 finish all year long. And here is the number that really hurts the most. Kyle Busch has not won a Cup race in 101 straight tries. His last trip to victory lane was back in June of 2023. On top of all that, his contract with Richard Childress Racing is up at the end of 2026, so the pressure on this guy is absolutely huge. And Bristol just made everything way worse. Kyle qualified 29th, which told you right away how the day was going to go. He spent most of the race stuck in the back of the field, just grinding out laps and going nowhere. Then came lap 312. Riley Herbst got up on the back bumper of Kyle's car and gave him a shove. Kyle spun sideways off turn 4, and it was not just Kyle caught up in it. Erik Jones slammed on the brakes trying to miss him, got hit, and then Michael McDowell and Christopher Bell were all collected in the mess too. Everyone kept going, but Kyle was now buried 2 whole laps down in 26th place. That is when things got really ugly on the radio. And this is where it goes from a bad day into a full meltdown. Right after the spin, Kyle's spotter Derek Nealon tried to calm things down with crew chief Jim Pohlman. According to Dustin Albino at Jayski, here is what Nealon said. "Listen, I know you're frustrated. I don't like running 30th either. But us yelling at each other during the race isn't going to help T. We've got to keep the glue folded together here. We're all still in it together. It's not over. We're only barely halfway through this thing." And then there was nothing. Pure silence from the crew chief. Nealon had to check if anyone was even listening to him. He asked, "You copy?" Finally, Pohlman answered. And his answer told you everything you needed to know about where this team's head is at right now. He said, "Yeah, copy. It's the same ST every week." The same thing every week. That is the crew chief of a 2-time champion talking about his own race car. And through all of it, you know what Kyle Busch did? Nothing at all. He stayed completely silent on the radio, did not say one single word. You can almost feel how broken down this whole team sounds right now. The driver was quiet, the crew chief was beaten, and the spotter was the only guy still trying to hold anything together. But Kyle was not finished yet. Bristol has a rule. If you get dumped, you dump back. And Kyle Busch was keeping score the whole time. With just 4 laps to go in the race, Kyle caught right up to Riley Herbst. He put his front bumper square on Herbst's rear bumper. Herbst started to get sideways in a hurry. And Kyle did not lift off the gas. Not one single bit. Herbst went sliding hard into turn 1, climbed right up the banking, and backed it into the outside wall with a huge thud. Now here is where the story gets even crazier. Kyle's revenge actually changed who won the whole race. See, the leader at that moment was Ty Gibbs in the number 54 Toyota. Ryan Blaney was chasing him down fast on much fresher tires. It really looked like Blaney was about to take the lead away and cruise to the win. But when Kyle wrecked Riley Herbst, the caution flag came out with 4 laps left. That froze the whole field. It forced the race into overtime. Blaney got one more shot at the win on that final restart, but Ty Gibbs held him off by just inches at the finish line. Kyle Larson finished third, only 0.2 of a second back. And here is the part that has to sting Kyle Busch the very most. Ty Gibbs just got his first career Cup Series win. It took him 131 starts to finally get it done. And Ty Gibbs just happens to be the driver that Joe Gibbs Racing picked to replace Kyle Busch back at the end of 2022. When Kyle left JGR, a lot of people said the team was making a huge mistake. They said you cannot just replace a two-time champion with a 20-year-old kid. They said it was way too soon. They said Kyle Busch was completely irreplaceable. Fast forward to April 12th, 2026. Ty Gibbs is standing in victory lane at Bristol. Kyle Busch finished in 25th. And the folks over at Front Stretch even wrote a whole article that exact same day with a headline that basically said it all. Ty Gibbs was always the right replacement for Kyle Busch. Ty's win was a huge emotional moment too. His dad, Coy Gibbs, passed away in his sleep back in November of 2022, just hours after Ty won the Xfinity Series championship that night. So, this first Cup win hit hard for the whole Gibbs family. After climbing out of the car, Ty said, "It's awesome to be with great people. To be in this position is great. I'd love for my father to have seen this. I knew he knew it was going to happen and expected it as well." Ty Gibbs became just the 6th driver in history to get his first Cup win at Bristol. He joined big names like Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Ernie Irvan, Elliott Sadler, and Kurt Busch. And his grandpa, team owner Joe Gibbs, told Fox Sports right there on the front stretch, "This is one of my best experiences." Meanwhile, Kyle Busch quietly rolled across the line in 25th place. His losing streak grew to a painful 101 races. Still no top 10 finish all year long. A team that sounds like it is coming apart at the seams on live national radio. A contract that runs out in a few short months. And he just had to watch his old race team celebrate in victory lane with the very kid that everyone in the sport said could never take his spot. Think about it this way for a second. Kyle Busch is one of the greatest drivers of his whole generation. He has won 63 Cup races in his career. He is a 2-time series champion. And right this second, he cannot even finish inside the top 20 at the track he used to own. His own crew chief sounds beaten down. His own spotter is begging everyone to just hold it together. And the driver himself, he went silent when his team needed him to stand up and lead the most. That is not just a bad day at the office. That is a wake-up call the size of Bristol Motor Speedway itself. The real question now is whether Kyle Busch can find some way to turn this whole thing around before his time at Richard Childress Racing quietly runs out for good. Because right now, every single week at the racetrack is starting to feel exactly like Jim Pohlman said on that radio. The same thing, over and over and over again, and the clock is ticking down fast.